This episode of the podcast is sponsored by David Shapiro, Remax Around Atlanta Realty. You can find his number right here. David Shapiro, Remax Around Atlanta Realty. Best guy in the biz. He knows inside the perimeter, knows outside the perimeter. He knows uptown, he knows downtown, he knows clown town, he knows west side, he knows east side. David Shapiro, Remax Around Atlanta Realty. Give him a call. His number's right here. This is his face, like in this side of the thing here. And you'll be able to help you out with all your housing needs. You need, a home evaluation. Give him a call. He'll be able to help you out. David Shapiro, Remax Around Atlanta. Really, Cash. Who the hell do we have on today?
We've got the band Laveda. We were joined by Ali from the band Laveda. They're out of New York. Very chill band, very dreamy band. They have a brand new album out called What Happens After. You can get it on lavedaband.com. Got some more Pete Peterson action coming your way.
Oh, you better believe it, baby. Roll the motherfucking tape.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Indiebnb. We're joined today by Ali from the band Laveda. How are you today?
I'm great. Doing fantastic.
We have become great Laveda friends, digging into your new album, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But let's just start from the beginning. Where did the name come from?
So the name was actually Jake's grandmother's name, and she's a musician. So I don't know, we just felt it was fitting for him to, kind of carry her name along,
Mm-hmm.
carry on her legacy with that name, which is kind of cool. We just thought it was pretty. So yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot. And so you mentioned Jake, and I've done a little bit of research, and y'all had been in previous bands together. Is that right?
Yeah. So we actually met in high school. I think it would have been, my freshman year is when I met him. So he's a junior, and we both played an orchestra together. So he played the upright bass and I played violin. And yeah, that's kind of how we met. And then he, like a year or so later, was looking for someone to sing backup vocals in his band at the time. And I was like, hey, I'll sing. And he was like, cool. So then that's kind of how we started playing together anyway.
Okay.
And we started gigging like a bunch. So yeah, we were both still in high school. And then, we've just kind of like done a couple of different projects together, and then eventually kind of created this, and we're like, oh, we should make a band out of this. So
okay, yeah.
stuck.
And obviously we're Indiebnb and we are big into independent bands, but obviously there's smaller labels and stuff people are signed with. And I saw where y'all kind of, I don't know if y'all got tired of being a part of a label or if it ran into some issues with being a label, and that kind of led to Laveda being a thing.
Yeah, well, so it was kind of like somewhat similar to that. Basically, we both had this band together called Lucy, and basically what happened was we had this development deal, so to speak, with these two people out of the city, and it just really went to shit really quickly, and nothing against our other band members or anything like that, because we're still friends with them actually, but just the people that were managing us it was really toxic. So we kind of like bonded over that because we both felt like we were being like treated like total shit. Sorry. But and yeah, then basically we started just like writing a bunch of songs, and we were like angry and like, yeah, so that's kind of how that came about anyway. And I mean, we did put out our record, What Happens After, on a small independent label, which was cool. but we were really hesitant at first to like sign with them because of our past experience, which was just like, you know, bad, obviously. So, and you know, it wasn't bad putting out my record. It was everything but that. So I'm glad that we did it, but we were pretty like, I don't know if we should do this, but
Yeah, it seems to be a repetitive theme with a lot of the artists that we talk to is at least in their first dealings with labels seem to have an idea of how things should work, and doesn't always seem to go that way.
yeah, it's definitely like I think we learned a lot from it too, and moving forward, like we definitely have like set the bar higher for like who we want to work with, and like whenever we're like feeling like our creative vision is being stepped over, like stepped on, like we're like, oh fuck, like we gotta, you know, take
Right.
control of the situation instead of kind of like sit back and just let other people take control. So
Yeah, so what goes into the creative side of Laveda? You know, what's the writing, what's the recording process like for y'all?
So Jake and I pretty much write, well, we wrote a lot of songs on the first record together, like in the same room. But there were a couple where like one of us would start an idea and then show it to like the other person. And then just kind of like build off it. We typically write like songs, I guess, like sound before lyrics or anything like that. So it's really about like the chord progression, or like if someone has a riff that we feel like super inspired by, we'll just kind of play off of that and then get the song structure kind of mapped out, and then we really start to like dive into, I guess, like lyrics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all like sit down and say, okay, we're writing a song today, or y'all kind of just get together and jam and something comes to you all of a sudden and then you just run with it?
I think Jake is more like he can kind of sit down and be like, I want to write a song. For me, and I do that sometimes, but for me it's a little bit more like I feel the need to like pick up my guitar, or like I feel the need to kind of like let out some energy. And I think he's like that too, but yeah, I don't know. We do though, like we'll set aside time to write together, or we'll both just kind of be like, yeah, we should write today, and kind of just see what happens. Sometimes it doesn't go the way we want, or sometimes it's just fun and we come up with some funny shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it really is pretty varied, I think, for us.
Mhm.
It's a lot of different things.
And then once y'all kind of, you know, especially since y'all just released an album, do y'all go into the studio with like, here's the, you know, 10 songs we're going to record, or y'all come in with, you know, we've got 30 songs and let's record them and see which ones the best ones are?
Well, for the record, we knew what songs we wanted to record, so there were no like extra songs, and it was a very like lengthy process for sure. For this last record, it very time consuming, in the best way, but we like wrote everything, then we took it to the studio, kind of recorded the bass line for everything just between like Jake, Dylan, our producer, and myself. And then after we kind of had each song sounding like a certain way, like kind of we were like, okay, this is the direction, then we started to like build on top of it. And it was just so much overdubbing for the record, which made our live show super challenging to like kind of like get to that same level, we had to work really hard to really get the songs to sound how we wanted them to from like a live perspective, because we did so like we just had so many layers and we were like, how are we going to do this with a 4-piece band? So but I think we figured it out after like a really long time.
Yeah,
so.
you know, I noticed it just seemed like y'all had, you know, so much reverb and so much chorus kind of layered on top of each other. And I'd read where y'all were big Wolf Alice fans and kind of took the energy that they bring to a live stage with a lot of layers and kind of incorporated that into y'all's sound. You know, kind of talk us through that.
Yeah, we definitely we're big fans of that band. We saw them live. God, I want to say it's been a really long time now. We've saw them twice actually, but the first time we saw them, it was right after they released their second record, and that show just totally blew us away, and we were like, that's what we want our live show to sound like, because they really do, like, if you like listen to the records, they sound just like the record live, but they also bring this kind of additional energy, which just makes it that much cooler.
They're so loud.
Yeah, so loud.
In the best way. Like the first time I ever saw them was at a festival, and I walked in, it was like at noon, and I could just hear them from like a mile away, and I was like, I gotta go see what this is. And that's when I like first found out about them. And obviously I'm a huge fan of them. They're one of my favorite bands. So I just thought that was very interesting. And after reading that, I could kind of like hear a little bit of their sound coming through y'all's sound in a very good way. But yeah, let's talk about the album. You know, how has it been perceived by you? Like, is it everything you thought it would be? Is there things you wish you could go back and redo?
I think we were pretty happy. Like, we're pretty happy with it, which is a really, like, I don't know. I guess I think a lot of bands, you know, they'll put something out and then after be like, oh, you know, it would be cool if we could have redone this and this. And there are a few minor things that I'm like, well, we could have done this a little different. But yeah, I don't know. I think we pretty much got everything to sound the way that we wanted it to, which is a really cool thing to like say about your first album. I don't know. I feel lucky that we were able to work with some of the people that we worked with on it, because we owe them so much credit. Justin, who mixed it, oh my gosh, John, I'm sorry, Jason. So Jason mixed it. He literally brought so much life to all of the songs, which was really cool. And then Dylan, our producer, he just, it's likewise kind of brought a lot of great energy and ideas to the table while we were tracking, which was really cool. But yeah, I don't know, I guess like there's a few things that felt rushed a little bit, like, and we took forever. So like for me to say like it felt rushed is really funny. But for like if only you said no, there's like a few things in there that I would have changed maybe on that track. But I think for what it is, it sounds pretty good. So yeah.
I thought it was a great track. I mean, great album, you know, from beginning to end. I like the kind of, I guess there's samples on a few of those like shorter, like 45-second songs that y'all have on there. I guess those are samples. Mm-hmm. What went into deciding let's use these samples?
So I think in CND, we took what was it? It was a TED Talk. We took a TEDx, the speaker, and she was basically talking about like, you know, the apocalypse and stuff, and we were feeling super like inspired by the, you know, end of the world and that whole kind of theme. And almost, I feel like our record is almost a like a thematic kind of thing, but maybe not quite, but it's like almost there. But yeah, so we took that from that TED talk, which was really cool, and ran it through I think it was a 4-track tape machine, and just kind of like totally destroyed the vocal and like messed with it, which was really cool. So that was really fun. And we used a bunch of samples in If Only. Like so many that I like you can't even like tell like what they are. Which I think was kind of the point, because you're like, well, you know, gotta be careful with the samples sometimes, but nothing that was like, I don't know, just random shit, public domain stuff. And
Yeah.
it was really fun to do that and just like mess it up. So yeah, we do like doing a lot of electronic stuff. Jake does a lot of that, and Dylan too. But yeah, it definitely brings like, I don't know, kind of a more electronic element to our songs, which I think is cool. So it's not like just pure like shoegaze rock, you know, it's a little bit more, I don't know, 3-dimensional, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's dig into our newest segment of the song spotlight of Dream Sleep. You know, what, take us from beginning to end. You know, how did this song become what it is, and you know, how did it start, how did it finish?
So it's funny because that was actually the newest song on the record. That it was the one we wrote the soonest, or I don't know how to say that. Like it was just the newest one that we wrote, and we had already been to the studio to record pretty much all the other songs, which I thought was interesting, like in retrospect, looking back. Yeah, one day Jake and I were just playing together at my apartment. I was still in college, and we were just totally like, you know, writing, and we were going off on like a really long like kind of tangent and just like totally in it. And then I just started playing like the little guitar riff that you hear at the very beginning. And the song kind of like just wrote itself like right in that space, which is really cool. We did have to, you know, figure some stuff out for sure, but he just grabbed the bass and he wrote that bass line that's in there. And I wrote the guitar part like in one sitting pretty much, which was really cool. And he wrote the bass line pretty much in one sitting. So it just kind of was like born in the room, which was really cool. And then the lyrics though came after, or the vocals came totally after. So once we started, we took it into the studio, I think the same night that we wrote it. And at my apartment, I had a little studio room with my roommates, and we stayed up all night until like 6 a.m. Recording it. And by like 4 a.m. I had come up with a verse melody and a chorus melody. So we went crazy. And then the last thing we added was like the synth, I think. And that was probably at like 6 a.m. And like by the morning, like the song was basically done. Like the demo was done. And we showed it to Dylan, our producer, and he was like, yeah, this is awesome. And then the next weekend took it to Brooklyn and recorded it like for reals, I guess, there. So that was like the song. And then the lyrics though, at the time, like I said, I was in school and I was feeling super overwhelmed because we were trying to record this record, and it would be like literally every weekend. I would have school Monday through Friday. And Friday night we'd leave, we'd go to the city, and then we would be there all weekend, and then we'd get back like a Monday at like 5 a.m, because we'd end up just like staying in the studio super, super late. And then we just have like our 2.5 hour drive back to Albany. So it was like super stressful. I mean, it was really fun, but it was like, I was totally like, I think I failed like 3 classes that semester. Totally worth it. And I did graduate eventually, so that's cool. But yeah, so I think I was, overtired, and like I was having these crazy dreams during that time. So I kind of decided to make it about that, and I just wanted to like not be in the place that I was. I was like, I just want to be at the studio all week. Like, I don't want to have to come back and go to class. So I think that's kind of where the meaning of the song derived from. And then like, I decided to make the lyrics about like a dream that I actually had, because it just felt like I was in this other reality and in this other world. And I don't know, just basically wanting to leave somewhere and not know if you're going to be able to come back, and maybe like having a, feeling regret because you're like, oh, you're feeling pulled in 2 different directions, but just ultimately kind of wanting to go and be somewhere else because that's what you want right in that moment. So I don't know, I guess it's like a hodgepodge of things, but
You nailed it. It sounds like you're in a dream the whole time, and that was a song I think that popped up on my Discover Weekly that led me to y'all's music. So I'm glad you made it, because we are big fans of Laveda now because of that song.
Well, thanks.
Of course. Well, like transitioning, there's always like a visual element to the art that everybody we talk to makes. And I want to kind of take a second and talk a little bit about your music videos. And I noticed you guys have done, quite a few, but I want to kind of zero in on, Better Now. I watched that one and really was, kind of blown away by the imagery. And take me through, like, what inspired you guys to, kind of, look like you're on a walkabout through the forest, and you got, all kinds, you guys are swimming, there's just all kinds of elements. So tell me a little bit about making that video and what inspired it.
Yeah, that was a crazy project. It was something I really wanted to do for a while, and we didn't think we were going to be able to do it, because I kind of had the storyline sort of mapped out in my head, like roughly. And then obviously like COVID happened. And one of my good friends another friend from high school, Hudson Payer, he's extremely talented videographer and director and producer. He was home because of COVID in upstate. So he was like, hey, I would love to do something with you guys. Like, we can make it as low budget as we need it to be, and we'll make it happen. We're all just looking for something to do. And I was like, sweet. So, we sat down, had a couple meetings, a couple of his friends who he went to college with, Andrew and Miles, they were kind enough to also help us out with the video. So basically, like, the vision was, so like basically kind of following the lyrics, like I wanted like Neverland to kind of be portrayed in like the woodsiness, and kind of like just having this very like childlike sort of like, I don't know, imagery, maybe like coming from just like nature, but at the same time having that like haunting, like something's kind of wrong feeling. So I thought like it would be cool for me to be like running, and it's like you don't really know if I'm running from something or if I'm trying to get to someone, which someone being Jake, I guess. who is and this was Hudson's genius idea of he was like, we should film him underwater and have him kind of be in this like other dimension, kind of like Stranger Things-esque. So that was like his idea. And we must have filmed Jake, I think it was like 7 straight hours in a pool that we like sunk a tarp like down at the bottom of the pool, and we like just had weights like holding it back. And you know, we had like, I was holding the tarp at one point, it was crazy, and we had to speed up the song and then like slow it down so everything was in slow motion, which was really cool. And yeah, that was a crazy time for him, and like perks to him for being underwater in the pool for like 7 hours straight. It was really fun.
That's kind of cool.
But
You know, you guys get it built out of just you know, the DIY nature, and you know, one of your buddies, you know, being home for COVID, just kind of, you know, being able to birth something, you know, that pretty out of that. That's awesome.
yeah, it was really cool.
What, you know, one of the other things, you know, I always talk about live music, and you guys did a live set at Audio Tree. You know, obviously very, you know, very famous place. You know, tell me a little bit about that experience.
It was super surreal. We were super fortunate to go like during COVID. I think it was right after they kind of like started doing sessions again, because obviously everyone was like totally shut down for a while. But it was amazing. We drove straight to Chicago from New York, so it was a long drive. And we got there. Oh, we did stay over a night, and then we went the next day. And we got there, and everyone was so nice and super professional. And I mean, the sound obviously is amazing there. I think it was one of the best live recording experiences that we've ever had, for sure. As a band, we all felt just like super honored to be there and play our songs, and it was super fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, that you know, the whole live, obviously the, you know, the live set is on Spotify for people to enjoy. So you know, that's one of the things that I kind of go in. I'm like, Eric, yeah, like, you know, I listen to the regular, but then I love to hear the live, just so, you know, like you said earlier, you have there's a little bit of a different element in you guys being able to try to, you know, take what you do in the studio and bring it live. So I think it's awesome. But with that, I mean, let's dive in a little bit, something a little bit lighter here. I mean, we're talking, you know, super serious music videos and getting into the album and everything, but let's talk a little bit more about some, you know, Pete Peterson party pack of questions. It's gonna be
Oh
20
boy.
questions, rapid fire. You know, finishing in with one, you know, a few questions that we always ask at the end. So, but when you're ready, I will, you know, release the dragon here, and we'll get it going.
All right, I think I'm as ready as I can be.
I like it.
Let's
I like
do
it.
it.
All right. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Chips or pretzels?
Oh man, chips, because just chips, definitely chips.
Chips. A lot more variety in chips. Would you rather
Yeah,
be a
you got
ninja?
lots more flavors. Oh,
Yeah, for
sorry.
sure. You're good. You're good. Would you rather be a ninja or a pirate while you're eating those chips?
While I'm eating the chips, I think a pirate, because I could just be super messy about it and just like, I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah, something about like chips, just being a gross pirate eating chips. That sounds
Gross pirate, dude. Gross pirate
funny.
band name. Put it in the bank. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
Aliens, are they real?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if they visited Earth, though. I don't know if I believe that, but yes, they're definitely out there.
Okay. Okay.
There's
All right.
there's definitely other living beings.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Halloween's coming up. It's October. I know you like to get spooky. Do you like eating candy corn or the candy pumpkins?
Candy corn. I was just eating them the other day.
Oh,
I don't like the
candy.
pumpkins.
Okay. Okay.
Jake
She's
likes
all
the
on phone.
pumpkins though, so
Good balance.
And that's why y'all are in the band together.
it's true.
You get the variety pack, and each person's happy. I love it. All right. If you walk into a party, are you more likely to do the robot or the worm?
Or the worm. I don't even know what this question means.
When you're doing a dance at a party, I mean, if you hear
the dancing. I'm like, what? I
the
think
dance.
I'm doing the worm.
She's doing the worm.
Gal.
I like it. She's getting the party going.
I'm just going for it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Is love at first sight real?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Just a general.
I don't know.
Easy there.
Probably not. I'm gonna go with no.
Okay, she's out on love at first sight. All right. Would you rather have a night in or a night out?
I do love a good night in, but I'm gonna say night out just because of COVID.
All right, she's itching to get out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, movies or TV shows. When you do have a night in, are you gonna watch a movie or a TV show?
Probably a TV show. My attention
All right.
span is just short, way too short.
30-minute increments, ladies and gentlemen. 30-minute increments, so we can take. All right, tenders or wings? What are you eating?
Wings, always.
All right. Wings
one of my
all the
favorite
time.
foods.
All right, are you having blue cheese or ranch with those wings?
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese. All right. Spoken like a true upstate New Yorker.
Needed. Yeah.
Circus peanuts. They're the big orange peanuts you find at the gas station. You a fan of those?
Nah, not for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, here's a good New York just general question. Where would you rather spend more time, Times Square or Broadway?
I'm not a fan of really either of the play, but I'll say Broadway because it's fun to go to the theater, see a show.
There you go. Okay. All right. Donuts or bagels? Hot topic in New York.
Damn, that's a hard one. Bagels.
All right. She's like some bagels. All right.
I like cream cheese, so.
You can get cream cheese donuts though. So always think about that. Anyway.
Is that a thing? Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cream cheese cruller. Are you gonna go when you have chips and salsa? What's the third option you like to have? Queso or guac? Or sorry, the second option, queso or guac?
Guac, especially after having gone to California. Avocados out there, super good.
All right.
I'm a big avocado fan.
I like it. I like it. All right. Tacos or burritos? What are you more likely to get?
Tacos. Soft shell tacos, like the little ones. OG.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Little salsa verde on there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Likes the green stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Likes the green stuff. Very good. All right. Dogs or cats?
Oh no. I don't think I can answer that one. They're both like so different. I don't know. I guess I'll say dogs because my parents have a dog. I love my parents' dog. I don't have a cat right now, so.
All right, she's got a dog in her life, ladies and gentlemen. And you like watching the sun rise with that pup, or more into sunsets?
I see more sunsets, so I'm gonna go with sunrise because it's more special. If you get up super early and you're like committing to watching the sunrise, props to you. It's usually totally worth it. So
Gotcha. And if you're ever having a nice summer day, just take us back a few months. Would you rather go to the pool or to the beach?
beach.
Okay. All right. She's beaching it. I like it. And finally, the final question of Pete Peterson's Party Pack West. You made it all the way through. I mean, you've done an excellent job. Tell us about two bands that we ought to know about that we should check out.
Ooh, I love this. Okay, one is Hotspit. They are from Richmond, Virginia. And we're actually playing a show with them again November 15th in upstate New York. They're awesome. Definitely check them out. And then I would say who's my other pick? This is so hard. Lone Phone Booth.
Lone Phone Booth.
Yeah. They are super experimental and just like really cool. Just a one person writes all the music. But yeah, I think they're kind of on a hiatus right now, but they have 2 EPs, or I think they have 2 EPs and a record out on Spotify. So
beautiful.
Definitely a lot of material.
Yeah, we'll check them out. We that's how we get this, kind of to grow. We go from people who recommend other people, and so we've had a lot of growth that way. So when we shout them out on our page, we'll definitely be tagging you and saying, hey, Ali from Laveda told us about you guys, and we were amped to learn about you. So we'll put you in there. So that has been Pete Peterson's Party Pack of Questions. Tash, wrap us up.
All right, Ali, it's been a pleasure having you on. I was on your website looking. Looks like I've got a show coming up October 16th. Is that right?
Yeah, playing in the city over at Berlin Under A.
Well, everyone that's in New York, get your ass out there and see them. Go to lavedaband.com, buy their new vinyl of What Happens After. And Ali, if y'all ever make it to Atlanta, Grant and I will be in the front row screaming our hearts out.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on here. It was a great time. Loved all those the 20 questions. That was pretty cool.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Alex.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alex.